The Iraqi army is finally launching a final offensive against one of the last bastions of ISIS in Iraq. So this is from the Hill. Iraqi forces launch offensive on last ISIS stronghold in country. Iraqi forces have launched an assault on the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, last stronghold in the country. The US-led coalition said Thursday, quote, "The Iraqi security forces are battle-hardened after their victory in Mosul, Tal Afar and Hawija. The ISF is a determined professional forces dedicated to ridding Iraq of Daesh," the coalition said in a news release using an alternate name for ISIS. So, the offensive is in the al-qaim district in the Middle Euphrates River Valley, on the border with Syria. About 1,500 ISIS fighters are estimated to remain in the area, according to the coalition. Iraqi forces backed by US and coalition air power retook Mosul from ISIS in July. It was the last major city the terrorist group held in Iraq, but it has continued to hold smaller towns. After Mosul, Iraqi forces quickly routed ISIS from Tal Afar in August, then liberated Hawija from ISIS at the beginning of October. In announcing the al-qaim offensive, the Iraqi Prime Minister Haider-al-Abadi said the ISIS fighters have to choose between the death and surrender. The Iraqi army is finally launching an assault against one of ISIS' last strongholds in Iraq. So the stronghold is called al-qaim, which is a border city between Iraq and Syria, and also another city very important that they want to take control of, which is the city of Khawa. Khawa, yes, and so now they already have taken 10 kilometers. They are very close to taking Khawa. I don't know if you guys remember, but in 2014, when ISIS took over the second biggest city in Iraq, guess in how many days the battle was? Guess the battle was during I don't know, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. Yeah, the battle only was during 3 days. In 3 days, the Iraqi army lost the second biggest city in Iraq. This was totally grotesque because they didn't even fight the Iraqi army, they just leave the city. They hand over the second biggest city to Iraq to the terrorists. So we see a clear amelioration of the Iraqi army. They became much more professional and much more better because the country is much more united. And I think within 6 months, I think the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, I think they will be done in either in Iraq or Syria very soon because they're losing. They are against a US-led coalition in Iraq, against the Shia militia, against the Iraqi government, against the federal forces, against the militia that are sent from Iran. So everyone is against ISIS, and soon they're gonna be out of Iraq, and that's good. But I think they're still going to be in Iraq, but into a different form. What I mean by this is that ISIS is going to turning to domestic terrorism in Iraq and Syria. So, like by example, they can do a suicide bomber and stuff like that, but they no longer gonna have control territory as much as they did in 2014. I don't think it's possible. And when ISIS is done in Iraq, what is good is that the Iraqi have finally won. They won the war. Iraq is no longer into a civil war. Meanwhile, in Syria, if Assad and the Kurds, if they won against ISIS, the war is still not over. you're still gonna have fighting going on. And I think that it's great that the end of the war in Iraq is finally here because Iraq has been at war during a very long time. You know, it all started in 1979 when Saddam invaded Iraq because there was a revolution in Iran, and he doesn't wanted the revolution to spread in his country, so he wanted to bully. I don't find other word. Yeah, to bully the people in his country to show them that they shouldn't want a revolution. So yeah, he attacked Iran, and the war was lasted 8 years, and it was a stalemate. Neither side won, and then Saddam he had invaded Kuwait because he ran out of money, so he need money. And then a US-led coalition get Saddam out of Kuwait, sorry, and then you know what is going to happen. In 2003, it's going to be toppled by the US-led coalition, and then you're gonna have an insurgency. The Sunni and the Shia, they're all going to be fighting each other. There is going to be a mess. There is going to be incredible difficult to have one Iraq united together, and I think we kinda have this with ISIS. I'm explaining. Now that we have ISIS in Iraq, whether it's a Shia militia, whether it is a government, whether it is the Kurds, they all want to defeat ISIS. So in some way, they are all unite against ISIS, and that's it. That's a good thing, I think.